How's it going, YouTube? It is currently getting ready to be summer in Australia, right? Lucky for you because it is turning winter here where I live. It is very cold. So, um, we're gonna check out this video by Yorak. So that's literally the name of the channel. Links down below for that. Now, the last video I did by this guy, I didn't realize the name because it's Yorak Hunt. That's the name. I didn't know any better. That's all I knew. That's all I know about the name. So anyway, summer in Australia. That's the link, or that's the title of the video. We're gonna check that out. Links down below so you can check it out yourself. This is completely satire, funny, just a funny video right here. And it even says right here, no one was hurt in any of the photos or clips in this video. All clips used are from Australian news sources that have been played on live TV or are taken from other YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook videos, which are suitable for YouTube re-upload and do not violate any guidelines. All stunts performed by professionals in a controlled environment. This video is intended only for comedic, educational, and entertainment purposes. Do not try anything you see in this video yourself. YouTube, don't age restrict it again, please. Let's push play. From His Excellency.
As most of you may know, I recently made a video about what makes Australia so dangerous. But there was one thing that I left out on purpose, and that was the weather. Now, the weather in Australia is unpredictable at the best of times, and that's especially true when it comes to Melbourne. Melbourne is the only place in the entire world where it can be 4 degrees and rainy, but then by the end of the day, you're bright red and sunburned.
That's a sunburn, yep.
But I'm not here today to talk about Melbourne's weather, because today's video is about the annually recurring 3-month period where there's snow, bushfires, and floods all at the exact same time. And that is summer in Australia.
How's there snow also? Is it because like parts of Australia is in the mountains and different on the other side of the coast? Like, I don't know.
I've heard this year is gonna be a hot one. In case you didn't already know, there's a big hole in the ozone layer right above Australia. This massive hole in the ozone layer was likely caused by all the methane released from post-zinger box farts. And that means that more UV rays get in from the sun, making it a lot hotter. But from what I've heard, this year we're gonna be getting 2 for the price of 1.
Now, this original video was 1 year ago. So, just so you know.
And that second thing is something called an El Nino. Now, I'll admit, I'm an expert at many different things, but weather is not one of my specialties. But there is one thing that I have learnt over all these years, and that is, if something's name is in Spanish, you know it's gonna be hot. So in today's video, I'll be highlighting everything that you need to look out for in the Australian summer, such as what you'll need, what to avoid, and what preventative measures
Was that Borat?
that you might need to take. Anyway, that's enough waffle. Let's get into it. First up, we'll start by identifying some potential hazards and things that you need to avoid. First of which is hot seatbelt buckles.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. It says not for any non-Australians. I don't care if I'm from Australia or not. It gets hot here sometimes too in the summer, and those seatbelts will burn you. They will absolutely burn you. Now, it probably does get a little hotter in Australia. I'm not saying that we're the ultimate hotness or anything here, of course. But I've seen some hot days. Definitely seen the heat.
For any non-Australians watching, you may be thinking, there's no way that a device like this, that's whole purpose is to keep you safe, can pose any sort of threat. And that is where you're wrong.
Absolutely.
You see, for some reason, these seatbelt buckles...
Now, the thing is here where I live in northern Indiana, we get the extreme of both. We get absolute extremely hot temperatures sometimes in the summer, and then we get absolutely extreme cold days in the winter. It sucks. But I can thoroughly say that I know exactly about this seatbelt thing. Everything inside that car is hot. Metal things worse, of course.
Manage to harness the energy of the sun, and that means that if you park your car anywhere with sunlight, these little pieces of metal will warm up to roughly 1 billion degrees Celsius, and as soon as your skin makes contact with them, you'll be burnt into next week. This is such a prolific problem and no car is safe, not even the prestigious AU Falcon. The
Jeez.
first time I got invited to one of Mark Zuckerberg's yacht parties, I decided to drive.
Hold on. Is that, I mean, obviously, Yorak's picture's Photoshop, but is this really Mark Zuckerberg over here? The dude looks like an alien.
Parties, I decided to drive. And for some reason, I didn't even think of trying to find a shady spot to leave the AU Falcon for the day. So 3 days later, when it was time to head home, I went to put my seatbelt on and I was accidentally branded. But you see, hot seatbelt buckles aren't the only threat that come from the Australian summer heat.
Okay, hold on. 45 Celsius. Let me just check here. 45 C to Fahrenheit. 113. Yep. Felt that. There's been times that it's been that here, for sure. 100%.
Summer heat. Another thing that is
Not all the time, of course, but just there's been the days, though. There has been those days.
arguably just as dangerous is hot bitumen. Just like metal seatbelt buckles, hot bitumen somehow manages to harness the energy of the sun. And if you don't have the appropriate footwear, you could be in grave danger.
What is bitumen? Hold on, we gotta go back to Google here. What is this? Petroleum-based material, key component in asphalt. Okay. Oh yeah. Ooh. Yeah, it will burn the bottom of your feet. It will absolutely burn the bottom of your feet.
In the summer of 2021, I walked down a street on a 35-degree day, and I made the fatal mistake of doing so barefoot. Now, this short 3-minute walk to go dump rubbish on the neighbor's front nature strip
was probably the longest, hottest 3-minute walk I ever felt like you were on lava. Yeah.
Had massive repercussions. Every part of my foot that made contact with that red hot bitumen was burnt to a crisp and blistered up instantly. For 3 days I couldn't walk, and the only way I could get around was by levitation. After 3 days I was sick of it, and the only solution to this problem was to and drain out enough pus to fill 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Alright, that's enough anecdotal evidence. Out of the 7 mistakes I've made in my entire life, those 2 came with some of the worst consequences. But there's something that these 2 things have in common, and that is that they're both caused by the sun. The Australian sun during summertime is an absolute weapon. As I already mentioned, it has the ability to turn seatbelt buckles into cattle brands and bitumen into a makeshift frying pan. But apart from those 2 things, it also has the ability to turn you into a lobster, start bushfires that cover and
Did he fall asleep with his hand?
turn you into a lobster.
He fell asleep with his hand on his... That's great.
Start bushfires that cover an entire state, and turn any car without aircon into a sauna on wheels. But now that I've mentioned most of the important hazards that you need to watch out for during the Australian summer, I'll go through a few things that might just save your life. First up, we have the motorised esky. The motorised esky is up there with the AU Falcon as one of the most important and reliable vehicles that can handle Australia's unique conditions. With big, beefy off-road tyres, just like the AU Falcon, the motorised esky can go anywhere. And thanks to the wheelie bar on the back, once again, just like the AU Falcon, wherever you go, you'll get there in style. But by far the most important feature of the motorised esky is the esky itself. This small, cooled storage compartment can be used for...
Esky? That's what you guys call a cooler? Hold on, back to Google. What? Motorized cooler scooter. You can get them for $600 on eBay. Wow. Huh.
For many different things. Some things you can store in your motorized esky include ice, Coke, Pepsi, a few cold drinks to keep you cool during the summer heat, and if you have any big trips planned, you can fill it up with petrol and make your own long-range fuel tank. But not only is it one of the most practical vehicles available for purchase in Australia, it's also one of the best vehicles for running your own business. Some businesses that you can run while using a motorized esky include herb salesman, tilt tray stress tester, and my personal favorite, organ transplant transportation. The motorised esky is one of the most sought after vehicles for the Australian summer. It's more than capable of surviving some of the harshest conditions that you can come across during the Australian summer. Things such as extreme heat, bushfires, floods, you name it. The motorised esky can be configured to suit your needs. But unfortunately, there is 3 problems. Those being the lack of air conditioning, 1-seater capacity, and a top speed of only 20 kilometers per hour. But luckily, once again, I've found a solution to this problem. And if you've been watching my videos for long enough, you'd already know that solution is an AU Falcon with a boot full of ice. No, not that kind of ice. By filling the boot of your AU Falcon full of ice, you can still deliver organs, keep your drinks cold, and drive everywhere and anywhere in style. But now you have a top speed of 1 billion kilometers an hour, seating for 5, and most importantly, air conditioning. And the best part about all of this is that they're roughly the same price.
Is that really how shit those cars are? You can get it for the same price as a motorized cooler? Or is the cooler just that good? Which one is it, right? That's, I mean, to be fair, I guess I'd rather have the car than a motorized scooter.
In price.
Motorized cooler, whatever, yeah.
But that's enough waffle about the AU Falcon, because believe it or not, there are some other things that you might need. Those being a hat, sunglasses, and sunscreen. Now obviously none of those things are anywhere near as important or interesting, but speaking of important and interesting, if you want to tan just like a bricklayer, buy yourself a t-shirt and get dripped out like me, link in description.
There you go.
Now to finish off this video, we're going to get into some things that you need to avoid at all costs during the Australian summer. First up, we have popular beaches. When it gets warm, people like to head down to the beach and cool off. But unfortunately, some of Australia's most avid beachgoers are old men in fluoro speedos. Now, while these men usually don't pose any sort of threat, who on earth wants to see that? Next up, we have anywhere with trees and grass. Due to our politicians being idiots, it's highly likely that anywhere with trees and grass is going to end up in a bushfire inferno. So unless you have your motorised esky or AU Falcon on hand, stay clear. And finally, once again, the most important thing that you need to stay away from is the sun. Unless you slip, slap and reapply every 5 minutes, wear 7 hats and 15 pairs of sunglasses while holding an umbrella, you're gonna get sunburnt and end up bright red. So unless you want to camouflage in the tomato section at Coles, stay away from the sunlight at all costs. So now that I've ruined your summer, it's time to end. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share if you'd like to hear more teachings from the prophet of Yorak Hunt. And if you enjoyed this video so much that you watched it right till the end, comment Zinger to let me know. And as always, a shout out to all the people who made a donation to the charity of my bank account. I've already spent it all on SPF 50 plus and I still got sunburnt. Bruh.
That's great. So I do enjoy this channel. It's very funny. You guys should comment Zinger down below as well so that I also know that you watched till the end. That would be amazing. But not as amazing as you, right? So anyways, thanks for watching. You guys have a super fun, awesome day. Take care.